Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be going over some replays I have for my Ashen K9 deck with the newly added Queen of the Blazing Domain. I'm pretty sure this is like exactly the same as that deck profile, the previously posted deck profile that I'm going to link above around here. And it plays pretty similarly to like the previous Ashen K9 deck. You just have Queen, which is another end board piece, and it does quite a bit. So just a quick go over. It can't be destroyed by card effects. Level 9, 3000 attack, 2500 defense. Level 9, Dark Pyro. So it can be searched by all of our miscellaneous things that search also Vados. And you basically pop 2 cards on the field, including a face-up spell / trap, and it becomes like a mini macrocosmos for the field. Any monster sent from the field to your opponent's grave is banished instead. So, specifically their graveyard. So our Vados doesn't get banished, so all good. And yeah, it can't be destroyed, so it lives through the Vados pop. It adds quite a bit to the deck. And it's pretty easy to summon in this deck, because after you do your combo and then you normal summon Lantern, you add Case, and then Case adds Izuna for your to make a rank 5 after you blow up the board. You can pop the Lantern and the Case because they're not really needed at that point anymore. They've served both of their purposes. I don't play a K9 quick play spell. I don't play the Release Restraint. I feel like Release Restraint would be a bit bricky. If you draw Release Restraint and no K9s, it just would be absolutely abysmal. Every K9 card we have is playable to some degree. Like Case gets you Izuna, so you don't mind drawing it. Lantern gets you Case, which gets you Izuna, which you don't mind drawing it. And if you see other K9s, or if you saw other K9s and they're in the grave, then you can summon them back, do other stuff. Izuna is the main one, hand trap. And Lupus, he's a bit awkward, but sometimes he can come up to make a Typhon that can't be targeted. So yeah, so no Release Restraint, no Jokel either. We don't have enough 5s. No Norroys, because I feel like there'd be too many normal summons. And but his typing is cool, so I want to try out one Norroy, but I just don't have it, and I just don't have it in me. I don't even know what I would cut, make room for it. But yeah, there's gonna be replays with this deck, so let's get into the first one. And remember, guys, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. It really helps me out, and it's it's a nice thing to do on a beautiful day before the weekend. Assuming you're watching this on the Friday that I'm filming it. All right. So in this first replay, we're going first, and this one's a bit of a long one. We got a pretty decent hand here in terms of like K9 stuff. So he activates Duel, and for some reason I chained the Izuna. I didn't just wait till it resolved, and then he chains Max C, and I'm like, I really don't want him to get another draw. If I Ash this, he's down to like 4 cards when he draws for turn. So it was probably for the better that I did Ash it, but yeah. So send Lupus, summon Lupus, and then we make the Ripper. Ripper unfortunately cannot search, and then I normal summon the Lantern, so that next turn, when I negate something with the Ripper, I have the Lupus engrave, and I can summon it back, and then make another rank 5 with the Lantern. I can make like Valon or Vimana, whichever is good. He starts with Magician's Salvation, which is a field spell for Dark Magician. So he's obviously playing Dark Magician. And then we open Vados, the only Ashen card we open. And then he goes into the Primite stuff, and I'm like, shit, that's actually kind of bad. The Primites, when we don't have a good hand, we don't have we don't have that good of like recursion. So we don't have anything really going right now. So then he yeah, so he's got this going, and then he activates Souls, which sends for cost, and then we can negate it with the Ripper, and then we can summon back with the Lupus, and you know, it's a pretty neat little it's a pretty neat little thing we have going on. So we can Lupus, and I make a Valon here because we know he set the drill beam off of the ether barrel, and so I'm thinking we can book the Dark Magician so that he can't do any it can't drill beam. So now we're no longer under draw. So I activate it, and he has another lordly loaded hand anyway. So I really need this. I don't really need it to resolve, but at this point I might as well, because it doesn't have any materials on it. So I might as well get my search off of it. So I get Case gets Azuna, and then I just normal summon the Azuna for some extra damage, because this Valon has a Lupus under it, so we can detach the Lupus and make a Vamana. It's the last rank 5 we have. We top deck an Ashen card, but it's not quite the one we wanted to see. And I make a Zeus here because this Endlessness isn't doing anything. Nothing on the field is really like that insane, and I'm just gonna wait for him to commit a bunch of stuff to the field, and then I'm gonna Zeus. So he sends the Ritual, and I'm like, this is a pretty good point. Before he draws 2, he can send like so many useless cards, so it's like whatever. He literally loads, he adds an Ether Barrel, and then he summons back the Dark Magician. And then he sets 1, and I'm like, you know what, we're doing pretty solid here. We've got material in the Zeus. It's still the Lupus, because we sent away the Azuna anyway. So we attack the Dark Magician, and then he has Eternal Soul, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's got like an insane grind game, and I couldn't even call by it because he has a second one. So there's nothing I can really do there. So I decided to go for the Little Knight, and then banish the Eternal Soul so he can't keep summoning back and searching, and it also wipes the field. In the draw phase, I hit the Ether Barrel. I probably should have hit it in the standby phase, but it doesn't really matter, because if he activated it, then I would have been able to summon Lupus. He normal summons it, and then he activates the effect, which is like, I have no idea why. Because of that, I'm able to banish it before he can set Drill Beam, and then this guy top decks Circle, but he doesn't get anything off of it. So I'm kind of chilling. And then I top deck the Awakening, and we can go full Ashen combo. We can get the this is actually like not that like crazy, because the Priestess is in grave. I mean, the Shaman's in grave, so we can't even go for like the rank 4 and search for stuff. But he doesn't know that, and he scoops it up. Possibly the best thing I could have done there is summon Priestess, search for Extinguishing, and then Extinguishing, add Vados, and banish Extinguishing, fuse into the big fusion, and then pop the field, pop his back row, so he doesn't have any recurring back row. But he's still gonna be able to draw, get Ether Barrel. I can attack the Vados, clear the board, and then it's just yeah, because it would destroy all the monsters. So then he would be top decking, and he would add back Ether Barrel because he has the Dark Magician engraved, and then I would have Eternity. I would Eternity right away, get Priestess for follow up, and then I would have 1 pop. He would have an Ether Barrel, and whatever he top decks on 1 pop, but he decided to scoop it up. We didn't get to fully see what would happen. I felt like both of us were like really close to really anything, because he had a lot of setup, but he didn't believe in himself, so we got it. Alright, in this next one, we win the coin flip, but they drop a Perulia on us. And Perulia is really good against both engines that we play. So that's super rough. So I Bonfire, grab the Priestess anyway. I Extinguishing, grab the Vados. If we're playing a field spell deck, it'll come up. And then I'm just hoping Azuna and Vados are just going to carry me through the ways. Now I see the Rhoda. I'm thinking Sky Strikers. I'm going to leave. But he's playing Vanquish Soul. And Vanquish Soul is a little rough sometimes. So I'm thinking we can possibly get it. And he instantly gets this gets a Xiaolong, and then he gets the field spell. So I chained to the field spell to pop it, and because I chained to it, he did reveal. So he gets to activate the Xiaolong, and he ends up having an Azuna himself. And I'm like, this is super rough. He can make a Ripper. He can make any rank 5. He can activate this Xiaolong to add if he reveals 2 fires, and things are looking bad. Things are looking bad here. So we're both chaining to our Azunas. I activate my Lupus, and then he just doesn't activate his Lupus. And I was like, what does Lupus ever do? So the only logical thing I could possibly summon is Vamana, and I'm thinking he's gonna go for Ripper here, but no, he goes for Nash Knight. And he also didn't summon back to Lupus to keep the Xiaolong. So he's definitely got a rough hand going on, and he doesn't have a lot going on in his field and graveyard. So he tries to activate the Nash Knight. I negate the Nash Knight. It's the Masquerade Chaos one is just too insane, but he goes for this, and I have no idea what he's trying to summon off of this. And then he makes a Neo Galaxy Tachyon, and I still have no idea why. I guess for the body, but I think, oh no, this isn't strong enough. But yeah, I have no idea why he went for this. I thought he was gonna go into the Chaos Masquerade anyway to pop this or something, but no, he doesn't, and he just makes a Zeus with 1 material, and I feel like at that point he might as well have just attacked with the other guy and made a Zeus with 2 materials, and then just Zeus away the Vamana, I guess. I really don't know what he was going for, but he leaves the Zeus, he doesn't activate it or anything, and then I activate this to fuse, and I summon out the Blaze Phoenix because Vados and a machine are on the field, and he uses Rock to add back Xiaolong. Super irrelevant. We know he has we know his hand's got Dudukaka, so we don't have to worry about it, and we can kind of just play unbothered. He doesn't have anything. Endlessness served its purpose, so we can summon out the Queen. King summon from the hand, which I don't ever really do, but it came up here, and we already have the Extinguishing in grave from turn 1, so we can just go for our trusty Emperor. We did activate the Queen in hand, which means his Lupus, and if he has an extra Azuna, are both live. We add back the field spell, very important in case he does do something. We have Embers who can out anything in the damage step with his effect, and then we're gonna get our little bit of burn and our Banshee, who is 19. And he activates Lupus here. We did summon twice from the extra deck, the Banshee and the Embers. And summoning it's going to cost him 5. And then summoning the Typhon's going to cost him another 5. But it means absolutely nothing. There's it's not even too little too late. There's just nothing that really is bothered by this. So I go to attack him for game, and he just randomly scoops. This is in stage 2 of the Duels Cup. But you might as well get your dailies, your missions, whatever done. It's literally at the end. You might as well have just accepted. If you scooped early, I would understand. You're probably saving a couple of minutes or whatever. But I played pretty quickly with this deck. I have no idea I have no idea why he scooped at the end. Maybe he was just mad. I don't know. But it was a pretty okay replay. Vanquish Soul is just a very it's a very hit or miss deck. He definitely could have played it better. I'm not really versed in the Vanquish Soul K9 deck or anything. I do know he definitely didn't have much. I guess he could have searched for a Borger or something instead of the Xiaolong. I feel like that would have been doing more. And then attempt to grab something else. Yeah, I don't know about this guy, but yeah, Vados and Azuna definitely carried, and then the fuse into the Blaze Phoenix was very strong as well. All right, so for this replay, we went first. This is a really cool one. This is a really exciting duel. I had one pretty bad misplay, but we definitely came back from it, and we persevered. This hand, absolutely insane. This is like every possible end board piece we could ever want. The only thing is, in the draw phase, I should have activated this, but Master Duel, when you're on your phone, is a little funky, so I completely miss it, and I just go, alright, screw it. I'm just going to bait out Droll with the Chaotic Elements, see what happens. We're going to go for the Lantern stuff first, because Lantern always, he's like a magnet for hand traps. Like, if they see Lantern, they're like, yo, things are going bad, we gotta interact. So we grab the case, grab the Azuna, he's got nothing. So we just go for the Awakening, and we just start setting up our regular stuff. We hard open the Eternity, so we get our Endlessness, and we have both traps in rotation, which means we have guaranteed follow-up, we have some extra sends, and here we're setting up for Queen, and we hard open an Obsidian and an Awakening, which means we got the second Obsidian, and I grab Inferno here because at this point I'm like, well, he hasn't activated anything, so if we go into some kind of grind game, I want this send off of Inferno. Case isn't doing anything. We need the Lantern. I don't have an extra body because off of the Obsidian, instead of summoning King, I summon Priestess so that I can do everything in 4 summons and play around the nib in case he has it. And I'm thinking Inferno is going to get me an extra field spell. I have an extra one in my hand anyway. Case doesn't do anything, so yeah, we're going to add the Queen, and then we're going to pop the Case and the field spell. And now we have activate this, so we get an extra draw. And we got our full little setup here. And then in the end phase, we draw an Awakening, which is like one of the best cards you can draw in the end phase with this deck. But yeah. So he activates Poly, and I'm like, this guy could be playing like anything. He could be playing a weird Draco Tail build. He could be playing some kind of Chimera deck. Like so many things he could be playing. But regardless, he could have a Guardian Chimera, so I have to fuse away this Vados. Otherwise, he's just gonna pop something and draw, and it's just gonna be too much. So I instantly fuse away the Vados using the Lantern, Priestess, Vados, and then we make our big guy. And I have my zones a little funky. He should be in the top zone, and this should be on the far left to play around Gorgon. But it is what it is. But he's playing Lunalights, and he's gonna have triggers from the ones he used from his hand. He's gonna have a trigger from the one he summoned, and we're gonna chain our Vados. He's gonna chain a Called By, targeting our Vados, and we obviously want that to go through because this has a really good on-field effect. So we hard open the Eternity, so we use it to add back the Vados. So this little animation plays, but nothing happens. We pop the guy, and this gets banished, which is absolutely huge. Because this gets banished, he doesn't get the graveyard effect, and the Silverhound doesn't have its spell trap negate. So that's, it's some pretty neat stuff. He summons Gold Leo, and then Gold Leo is gonna add yellow Kaleido Chick, and then it's gonna discard a Fallen of Albaz. Super random, but he normal summons Kaleido Chick, and I'm like, Queen only works for monsters sent from the field to the grave. So if he foolishes from the extra another Perfume Dancer, then he can lower my attack, because we know he's gonna go into a Liger. Just a matter of how and when. I don't think at this point we can really prevent it, depending on what's in his hand, but we can try and play around it the best we can. So Perfume Dancer is going to lower our attack. Liger can't out this. Like, if he just place the Liger on the field, it's not outing this. It can't be destroyed by card effects, and it's just bigger than a natty Liger, so it's not really much you can do. So he has to use Perfume Dancer or some miscellaneous Lunalights to make it gain attack. So on the summon of this, I'm gonna book. I'm gonna make Valon. I'm gonna book it. I make the Valon up here so that he's not able to Gorgon me in case he's playing that for some reason. And obviously you can still fuse and stuff with it. So he goes for the perfume. He summons back this. He banishes this to add. He adds that one, I forgot his name. And then he adds back the wolf. And I'm like, well, shit. And then he Lunalight fusions. And I'm like, this guy just opened up every single good Lunalight known to man. And he summons out the infamous Liger Dancer. This got banished, so no effects in the battle phase. He adds a Poly. Poly doesn't really matter. He sends the Perfume Dancer, and it's like, damn, now this is gonna be low. And he activates the Wolf, and I misplay like crazy here. He activates it to fuse by banishing stuff from his grave, and I don't chain this. I was on the bus. I wasn't really paying attention. I was playing on my phone. It's like horrible excuses, but you know, it is what it is. But I could have sent Inferno. Inferno's like doing absolutely nothing. I know the last card in his hand is a Poly. He literally has nothing. If I chain this, because I don't think I didn't pop anything. Everything's still here. I could have sent Inferno, pop this, and all he has is a Liger Dancer, and that is so easily outable next turn on its own. But I don't. I misplay. And then he gets a Saber Dancer. But I guess actually looking back, it's not actually that bad, because he banishes the Silverhound, which means he has no spell trap negate. So I guess it actually was for the better that this actually resolved, funnily enough. Because if he negates this, I can't make another one of this, and then I just lose. So actually, maybe I'm a genius. Nah, I definitely didn't realize that. So I use the Vados here because I have to. If I don't, I just lose here. He's gonna hit me for a ton of damage, but we're gonna live. And this is a really nice Royal. I think he had another Royal that he played, but he had some cool Royals. This guy, yeah, he had this guy, Gold Leo Royal. So the plan here is Liger can only destroy special summon monsters that I control. So, and the Fusion Vados obviously needs at least 3 9 or lower Pyros, one of them being Vados. So the idea is to summon a Vados to his field and then just normal summon, and then I'm kind of cooking because he has absolutely nothing. So I try to Inferno to give him the Queen. This can't be targeted. I need him to have Vados. This is unaffected, and it has to send to grave. So this does not get sent to grave. So it goes to the extra deck, and then I can't like use it. And I was like, I can't resolve my card. So I was like, Inferno literally did nothing for me. But it is what it is. So we bonfire to our last shaman, last priestess, and then we grab our Vados. And now he has 2 Vados, so we're 2/3 of the way there. We summon out King. I normal summon the priestess, because if he pops here thinking like this is a good time to pop, then I'm chilling. I activate the King, hoping he would chain, and he doesn't. And then I chain the fusion, and then he chains this, thinking it'll pop everything, but this was normal summon, so I'm completely fine. So this is gonna resolve. It's only gonna pop King. This is gonna resolve. It's gonna fuse, and he sees the writing on the wall, and he accepts it for what it is. His only card was a Poly. Vados is gonna pop the field, and then attack over the Liger. And I don't think he can top deck anything. All of his like recurring stuff, soft forms returns, everything is banished. So I don't think there's a 1-card combo that can get him there, especially through the miscellaneous random nonsense that this deck produces. We also grabbed Extinguishing, which can it can send. We have 1 Vados left in grave. There's no other Ashen card in our deck. We have 1 Vados left in our deck, I mean. So we can send the Vados, we can add the Queen back, summon the Queen, and then he's in more of a predicament. So I thought that was a pretty cool duel. Outing a Liger is never an easy feat, but when you do, it's pretty damn rewarding. So it was a pretty fun duel. If you guys like the replays, you know, like, comment, subscribe, all that. It really helps out, especially if you made it this far. I thought these replays are pretty neat. And thank you for watching. Take care.